The Jordan 1 is going through a bit of a rough time. So rough, in fact, they had to delay the Black Toe Reimagined to 2025 due to a lack of hype and interest, which is bonkers. But guess what? I don't care about all that. What I care about is whether or not a shoe looks good. And this shoe that I'm reviewing, even though it doesn't come in my preferred iteration and version of the colorway, it is still Michelin star rated delicious. Air Jordan 1 High Satin Shadow. The shoe is dropping on October 5th for $180 in the United States. It is a woman's exclusive. Now, the satin colorway has retroed before. So in 2009, 2013, and 2018 as well. Also, we had the Flyknit version in 2018. We also got that version with the chenille swoosh and the corduroy upper. I think that was in 2017. The Jordan 1 Low OG Shadow also came out. And just like last year, around this time, when they came out with the bread satin, they're taking an OG delicious colorway, changing it up, putting satin on this shoe. And first impressions of this shoe, I love the shadow colorway. I really do. I'm a black sneaker lover, and every time I see this, I can feel like things inside me. When I look at a gorgeous sneaker, it just tickles those sneaker hormones. Now, I will say, I'm not a huge fan of satin like on sneakers, so that's not my favorite. I would have really preferred if they just gave us like the OGs. And 85 cut OGs actually would be very, very delicious. But in terms of just the colors on the shoe, it is beautiful. It is delicious. Not my preferred, but it is nice. And the upper of the shoe, of course, that is the most distinct thing about this pair of Jordan 1s. It is satin. And satin, if you're into that material, you're gonna like this shoe. Personally, for my sneakers, I still prefer leather. Leather is king or queen. Leather is everything. It's just a personal preference. I can't describe it, but it is what it is. And then moving up all the way to the tongue, you see this very subtle, kind of light, not too light gray for the Nike Air tag on the top of the tongue. Very, very cool. Just such a nighttime and sleek looking colorway. Love it. And this shoe does also come with one extra set of laces in that same gray color. I appreciate it. I feel like every Jordan shoe should come at least with 2 sets of laces. For the amount of money we pay, yeah. 2 laces every shoe. And out of the 2 laces, I think I'm still going with the black laces. I think it just looks really nice, but really you can't go wrong. But for me, yeah, if I had to choose, black laces it is. And the lace tips on the shoe is also slightly elevated. It's made to look like chrome or like metal lace tips. So I do like that extra elevated touch. One thing to consider, no ventilation. So yeah, if you have sweaty feet, definitely keep that in mind. And then of course on the ankle collar, you get that Wings logo. This time it is not debossed or embossed. It is stitched onto the shoe. So it gives it a more like a handcrafted or elevated look. And yeah, clearly for this shoe, they're just going for a more upscale vibe. I'm glad they didn't charge us more for the shoe, but it's certainly the aesthetic that they're going for. And the Jordan 1s does come with a rubber cup sole with a Nike Air unit just on the heel, minimal cushioning. This is a very old shoe. And yes, came with a white sole. No sale. No pre-aged, no nothing, just white, the way it should be, just like the OG colorway. It is gorgeous. Look at that pearl white. Ooh, just delicious. And then of course, a very distinct outsole, the concentric circle pattern that actually originated on the Nike Air Force Ones, made its way onto the Jordan 1s. It came out around the same time, Air Force Ones in 1982, and it's in that beautiful gray, just to match the rest of the colors on the upper. And the insole of the shoe is not Dreamcell, it is not polyurethane, it is just generic nonsense. And the box of the shoe, as you would expect, true to the colorway of the shoe, shadows, Jordan 1 box, Nike box for Jordan 1, nothing much else to it. Now in terms of overall sizing and comfort, I am a wide and flat footer for Jordan 1s. I stick true to size, fits me pretty well lengthwise, widthwise, but I will say, because this shoe, on the ankle collar inside, it is satin, so it does have that very smooth feel. So you might feel like your feet are kind of coming out of the shoe. So just keep that in mind. You might have to really tie your laces up. I know some people do like to loosen up their Jordan 1 laces, but for this shoe, because of that satin material, can feel that kind of heel slippage from the materials. So really tighten up those laces. Apart from that, the overall comfort of a Jordan 1, it is pretty much the definition of average. It's definitely not the best, but it's not absolute trash. It's just a very old shoe. Don't expect the best technology or cushioning. There's no plush cushioning. You almost feel like you're kind of walking on the ground. It's very flat, which a lot of basketball shoes do feel like. If you're just wearing this for casual use, which 99% of people are for Jordan 1s nowadays, you shouldn't have any problems. Now that brings the total sole score of the Jordan 1 Satin Shadow to 31 out of 40. Pretty high score compared to other general releases. Now first it is colorway. As a black sneaker lover, come on, look at this. Just such a nice colorway. The Shadows has always been one of my favorites. Maybe not as legendary as the Chicago colorways, but it really doesn't get too much better than this. This colorway is beautiful. Now in terms of materials, I'm not exactly like an expert in satin, so for materials, I'm just gonna go off personal preference. I don't love satin materials on shoes. I get it if you like that kind of upscale vibe they're going for. I prefer leather, so I'm just gonna give it a pretty decent score because it does feel super smooth. Now in terms of overall comfort, like I said before, about as average as you can get. It is to be expected for a Jordan 1. However, the smooth feeling, because of the satin, it does feel pretty nice. It does feel pretty nice. Kind of feels like you're sliding your feet into like satin sheets in bed. So I do like that. I do like that. However, in terms of cushioning, the weight of the shoe, yeah, it's old, it's not updated, it's average. And in terms of overall versatility, super versatile shoe. I don't care what's happening with the Jordan 1s nowadays. This is timeless. This silhouette is absolutely classic. You'll always be able to wear a Jordan 1. Chances are, if you have a Jordan 1, unless the colors are crazy, it'll go with whatever you're wearing. And in terms of the wearability of this colorway, not as wearable as an all-white sneaker, an all-white Jordan 1, but as far as black sneakers go, it is wearable. Black and gray, nothing crazy. That white sole does make it pop a little bit. It is just a super wearable colorway on a very versatile shoe. There's not many colorways that I would put over the Shadows. The UNCs definitely I have up there. Chicago's, Black Toes, Breads, all are legendary. The Georgetowns I really like. And then the Shadows are probably right there, right after those. And even though this doesn't come in beautiful, scrumptious, delicious leather, still, the colorway is enough for me to get excited. So that's it. Thanks for watching. So inclined. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan 1 High Satin Shadow. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.